India's Omicron patients hits 38 as 5 fresh cases are surfaced. One each in Chandigarh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra and now Kerala. A special report from Maharashtra. COVID widows, women who found themselves in charge of a family after the sudden death of family members, struggle to survive as there's no sight of the government compensation due to them. Right-wing Hindutva group set on fire religious books belonging to Christians in Kolar in Karnataka. Not a single member of these right-wing outfits have been arrested. The Congress sets the tone for the upcoming assembly elections with a massive Mehngai Hatao rally in Jaipur. Rahul Gandhi tears into the Modi government on price rise, and the farmers' issue and crony capitalism also makes a frontal attack on the BJP over Hindutva. Prime Minister Modi says deposit insurance reforms undertaken by the government will instill confidence in account holders on the banking system. The last touch is being added as the Kasi Viswanath corridor in Varanasi is to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister tomorrow, a project also important for the BJP politically with the crucial state election just 2 months away. And Katrina Kaif and Vicky Kaushal look picture perfect for their Mehendi ceremony with more than a little help from designer Sabyasachi. Good evening, you're watching NDTV. I'm Sarah Jacob. The number of Omicron patients in India has now risen to 38, with Kerala reporting its first case of this new variant. 5 fresh cases surfaced today, one each in Chandigarh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra and now Kerala. For Andhra Pradesh and Chandigarh in Kerala, these were the first cases reported, and now the Kerala Health Minister has confirmed just a little while ago that an Omicron case has now been reported in Kerala. Sneha Merikoshi is following the story. She now joins us. So Sneha, what can you tell us about this patient, this first person in Kerala to have tested positive for this new Omicron variant, and what is the government doing about following up with anyone he or she has been in contact with?
Well, Sarah, so this is, as you said, the first Omicron case in Kerala. What the minister has said, this person is a UK returnee, came via the Etihad flight via Abu Dhabi. And the first test of this person was negative. And then again on December 8, when this person was tested, this person tested positive. The genomic sequencing was done, and it was the Omicron variant. So all 149 passengers who were on board with him on the same flight have been informed, including the high-risk passengers who were sitting right next to him. In terms of his condition, there's nothing to worry is what the minister is saying. The person is stable in an isolation ward. In terms of the primary contacts of this person, they have been traced. Primarily, it's the mother and the wife that were the primary contacts. They have also tested positive. It isn't clear at this point whether the genomic sequencing results for the 2 primary contacts have arrived, but they have tested positive, and the further sequencing would be done. All the primary contacts have been identified and have been informed, is what the hospital authorities are saying. What is perhaps important also to reiterate that all 3 of them who have tested positive in this case, 1 for Omicron, 2 otherwise who have tested positive as primary contacts, they all are stable and are doing fine, according to the health minister.
All right, Sneha Merikoshi reporting from Kerala. And Maharashtra's Nagpur reported its first case of the Omicron variant, a 40-year-old man who came back from South Africa via Delhi. He then tested positive at the airport on the 6th of December. His genome test reports from the National Institute of Virology came in today. This is now Maharashtra's 18th case of the Omicron variant. And to slam the brakes on the spread of this virus, this variant of the virus, prohibitory orders banning large gatherings were declared in Mumbai for the 11th and 12th of December. That was for the weekend.
know as far is that after this patient returned, after this person returned to Nagpur, he underwent genome sequencing along with the COVID-19 test, and only after that it became clear that he had an Omicron infection. As of now, what we know is that he is stable and is undergoing treatment at the hospital. Other members of the patient's family have been reported negative. So this is what we know as of now. Also, other people who came in contact with the patient concerned are being traced, and all of them are being tested by the administration. The samples of the concerned person was taken at the Nagpur airport on 4th of December, and after getting the reports, now he is being treated. So this is what we know as of now, and this is the 18th case that the Maharashtra, it has been reported in Maharashtra. We know how there were 7 cases reported on Friday, after which there was Section 144 imposed in Mumbai for Saturday and Sunday. And now we see that there is another case that is being reported in Nagpur. In fact, the first case of Omicron that is being reported in Nagpur. Now, it would be important to see that what are the things that come forward once the tracing happens, and what will be the administration doing after this. As of now, what we know is that at least his family members have tested negative, and the contact tracing is still going on.
Thanks so much, Sohita. And meanwhile, in Andhra Pradesh, a man who returned from Ireland tested positive for the Omicron strain, which has raised concerns of a fresh outbreak of the coronavirus across the world. This man is currently in Visakhapatnam. Meanwhile, the Karnataka health minister tweeted that this 34-year-old male returning from South Africa has tested positive. He is isolated. He is being treated in a government hospital. 5 primary and 15 secondary contacts have been traced, and samples have been sent of all of them for testing. This is the 3rd case of the Omicron variant that has been detected in Karnataka. And in Chandigarh, a 20-year-old who had come from Italy to visit his relatives has tested positive for the Omicron variant. On landing on the 22nd of November, he was in home quarantine. He then tested positive for COVID. On retesting on the 1st of December, a genome sequencing test then confirmed this was a case of the Omicron variant. This man was completely asymptomatic. He had been fully vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine, while in Italy he is currently in institutional quarantine. His 7 high-risk family contacts have been placed in quarantine too. All of them tested negative for COVID in an RT-PCR test. They have been tested again today. All right, let's get you all of the other news from around the country now. The Congress's High Command seems to have clipped the wings of the Punjab Pradesh Congress Committee Chief Navjot Singh Sidhu. While addressing a rally on Saturday, Sidhu said that he was just, and I'm quoting here, a powerless president. He had said that in August this year that if he wasn't allowed to take decisions, that would be disastrous for the party.
जिन्हां दे हत्थ च अज बागडोर है उन्हां नूं अलख जगानी चाहिदी है इन्हां दी ढूई कुटनी चाहिदी है इन्हां नूं अंदर देना चाहिए जे देंगे तां ही कोई डरू इन्हां 4.5 साल दा मंगदा ते जे मेरे कोल हुंदी ना ताकत 4 दिन दी मैं ते अज भी पंजाब दा प्रधान हां जिन्हें किते जनरल सैकटरी ते किते ओ लाउने हुंदे ओ भी नहीं लाउण दिंदे होम मिनिस्ट्रियां ते लंबू सा उत्थे फिरदा हुंदा जीजा साला उत्थे फिरदे अमरीका ये देश छड्ड जाए ठोको ताली ठोक के कहंदे.
And thousands of farmers are on their journey back home, back to their villages in Punjab and Haryana after dismantling their makeshift accommodations at protest sites on the borders of Delhi following the end of their year-long agitation against the contentious farm laws. And in videos and photos, farmers can be seen dancing, waving green and white flags as they ride their tractors and their jeeps going back from the outskirts of the capital, where they have been camped since November last year, protesting against the contentious farm laws.
Where we are standing right now, this side of the highway is blocked. So these barricades that you see were placed by the Delhi police, and there are security arrangements in terms of the deployment of Central Armed Police Forces. There are 5 brigade vehicles, there are police vehicles, riot gear vehicles, all placed here to stop the farmers from moving into the national capital. The farmers had always maintained that it was not them that was hindering with the traffic movement into the national capital, rather it was the Delhi police that had placed these obstacles in terms of barricades, concertina wires, nails, etc. Try and speak to these farmers and try to understand that what exactly is the motive behind this and why are they themselves cleaning. बाबू जी एक बात बताइएगा, आप लोग खुद साफ कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, मतलब कितने टाइम से थे आप यहाँ, कितने टाइम से?
हमको 13 महीना यहीं हो चले, इसलिए हम लोग सफाई करके जाएंगे यहाँ जब जाए।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी हाँ जी, ये तो घर की तरह सब रुके हैं यहाँ पे, अब यहाँ जितनी सफाई करके जाएंगे।
अच्छा, घर की तरह हो गया था एक तरह से आपका?
हाँ जी, जैसा जगह मिली थी वैसा करके जाएंगे, साफ बिल्कुल
साफ करके जाएंगे।
हाँ जी।
आप बताइएगा, आप भी प्रोटेस्ट करने आते रहे या फिर आज आप सेवा के लिए?
नहीं, हम पूरे 12 महीने थे
जी।
जैसे अभी हमने देखा क्या, नवंबर में शुरू में आए थे हम लोग, अब जा रहे हैं, अब दिसंबर में तो हम पूरा जैसा था वैसे ही करके लेके जा रहे हैं, इसको छोड़ के जा रहे हैं।
जैसे भी हम एक साल से बाबा जी की सेवा चल रही है गुरुद्वारा नानकपुरी से, वहीं से अब उनकी सेवा फिर आज चल रही है, आज वापस जा रहे हैं, तो सब खुशी में हैं। रात एंजॉय भी किया सबने। हाँ जी
ठीक है, वैसे यहाँ भी ठीक थे।
हाँ।
मन लगा था, यहाँ
मन लग गया था फिर आखिर पूरा। तो अब सामान पैक करके मोर्चा फतेह?
बस फतेह, देखो फिर भी आ सकते हैं, कभी
फिर दोबारा भी आ सकते हैं। Here at the Ghazipur border, the farmers who were agitating are going to stay till 15th of December. We'll try and speak to these farmers that what exactly is the program in the days ahead. फिर आगे का क्या प्रोग्राम रहने वाला है? आप
बस अब मोर्चे से सब हटाया जा रहा है, टेंट तंबू सभी, मंच भी हटाया जाएगा, रोड खाली किए जाएंगे, सभी लोग घर जाएंगे, अपना काम धंधा देखेंगे, और इसके बाद 15 जनवरी को हमारे एसकेएम की फिर मीटिंग होगी दिल्ली में, जो सारे लीडर इकट्ठे होंगे, और 15 जनवरी तक जो हमारे किए हुए वादों पर डेवलपमेंट होगा उस पर हम लोग समीक्षा करेंगे और फिर आगे का निर्णय लेंगे।
With camera person David Thomas, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
And now let's get you a special report of the day. India's first breathing lung transplant was carried out by a team of doctors in Hyderabad, which is fast emerging as India's lung transplant capital. The cutting-edge technology enhances donor lung quality and longevity outcomes for the patient, and also decreases organ wastage by 20 to 30%.
A team of specialist doctors at Hyderabad's Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences has carried out India's first breathing lung transplantation, a feat accomplished only in a few centers in the US, Canada and Austria that helps to enhance the quality and longevity of the lungs, avoiding organ wastage.
So if you look at it worldwide, out of the 10 organs that are donated, 10 lungs that are donated, maybe 4 or 5 of them can be used. As many lungs that are optimized and available for these patients who are suffering from end-stage lung disease, the better it would be.
This glass dome contains donated lungs that are artificially breathing with a ventilator. In this hermetically sealed machine called the organ reconditioning box, the organ is treated with nutrients and antibiotic solution. Bronchoscopy is carried out to clear the air passage. At the end of it, the ready-to-transplant organ is better than what the team started with. 80% of the lung transplants that are happening in the country are happening, in fact, at this particular hospital. And through the COVID period, in fact, 29 of those transplants were of COVID patients, and that equals the number in the United States.
Yes, some of the best centers in the world that do COVID lung transplants have probably done in anywhere between 20 to 30 lung transplants for patients with end-stage COVID. We're very fortunate. We have a remarkable team.
In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And after the break, we're going to bring you a special report. It's a ground report where the last touches are being added as the Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi is to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister tomorrow. Alok Pandey will bring you a ground report on this project that's also important for the BJP politically, because you have, of course, those crucial state elections just 2 months away. After the break, Alok on standby to bring you up to date with this big story.
this is the Kashi Vishwanath corridor that's going to be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday. I just want to pan to this side and show you the Ganga river. So these are the steps of the corridor that, as you can see, are still under construction. It will take a while for them to get their final shape. But what the Prime Minister is doing is that before I talk about that, let me just show you the burning ghats there. These are the Manikarnika ghats where cremations take place. It's a very famous place across the country. And to this side is the other ghat that is also a prominent one in Varanasi, and the corridor is coming up in between these two ghats. And there, as you can see, the Ganga river, of course, no one is a stranger to that. We all know about the Ganga river and its importance in Varanasi. The corridor is coming up to this side. So to this side is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. I'm going to just walk inside as I show you these last minute preparations that are taking place. Obviously this is very hurried because the Prime Minister is coming in tomorrow, so it's debatable whether all of this will be complete or not. The Prime Minister will be taking a vehicle and will be coming to this area where, as you can see, like I said, finishing touches still happening for the entire corridor. It's likely that all of this will finish in, say, a month from now, but it is getting inaugurated tomorrow. To that side is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Before I give you shots from a top angle of the temple and the corridor, I'd like to pan this side and also show you the older part of Varanasi. These are areas very close to the ghats. You can see that this is a very congested space beyond the Kashi Vishwanath temple. But now that I walk to this side, it'll be interesting to see how this area has transformed. So this is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Earlier, the temple was confined within this space that is on your camera right now. But right now, what has happened is that this entire area has been cleared out. So the congestion here has been removed, and these buildings have been constructed very close to the famous Manikarnika or burning ghats of Varanasi. The additional space that's been required to create this infrastructure has been about 55,000 square meters, and the project, according to the government, has taken around 900 crores to build. At the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi, where the Kashi corridor is going to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister on Monday. At the moment, you can see festivities here at the Kashi Vishwanath temple with this group of devotees singing, dancing and also chanting, perhaps to mark the occasion as the Prime Minister visits Varanasi to carry out the inauguration tomorrow. He had laid the foundation stone for the corridor in 2019. Achyut Mohandas is a priest at the ISKCON temple in Varanasi. So I just want to ask you, what do you feel about the redeveloped corridor? An added question to that would be that some say that the mystique or the magic of Varanasi is also in its congested lanes and the way people used to access it earlier. So what do you feel about the modernization of it and the fact that this entire path has been cleared for devotees to access it perhaps in a better way?
Oh yes, this is a very important question, and I would say that as far as the experience of everyone goes here, this is the best thing which could have happened.
Okay.
Because we do agree that the traditional Kashi was in its small lanes and those congested lifestyle which we used to experience. At the same time, to share that experience with everyone, to share the blessings of Vishwanath with everyone who can come here in a hygienic way, and they can experience the ecstasy here, which is available in the spiritual chanting of Lord's names.
You are a priest, you are very far away from politics, so to say. But what did you say about all the hype that's been created over the inauguration? I mean, it deserves it, of course. I mean, that's another aspect, and you told about it. But what do you feel about the political hype around it, given that elections are also around the corner?
Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, I am not an expert on this matter. At the same time, the essence which I see about is that this is very good, because at least through that, Kashi's name, Vishwanathji's name, Ganga Maiya's name, and the Lord Krishna's, Lord Rama's names are spreading all over in the media. So it's like purifying it, you know, whether you put it this way or that way, the medicine acts.
I am standing at the famous Godalia intersection in Varanasi. To this side is the Dashashwamedh Ghat and the famous congested bylane of this temple town. To this side is the Kashi Vishwanath temple, and also one end of the Kashi corridor that the Prime Minister is inaugurating. A blend of tradition and modern things, so to say, at this intersection. But at the end of the day, perhaps this inauguration is also as much about politics as it is about religion. With Ajay Singh and Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.